Well played all around, but again, Tree victorious in the long run. So here we are, a first-round matchup. These two teams going at it once again because of how they placed in the previous cycle. And most noting, too, BMG running, of course, both with Own Me and Find now in place of Support and Zibe as new permanent players for the team. Anyways, after all of that, joined by Minimaga once again, we are just flying through this draft here as soon as it started, really. Kraken, Glacius, and Madman coming out here from Tree. They like their Madman. Now, they run it in a couple of cases, either with Balthazar or Boxy usually, so I'm kind of curious where they go here.
Yeah, I think we're going to see Suicide Madman. The reason why I think we're going to see Suicide Madman is because I talked about a little bit about the strategy of Tree. You know, they get level 5 or level 7 on the carry and then rotate their carry into the jungle. Soul Stealer, sometimes even the Alonia perhaps. But, I mean, Madman, if he gets level 5 or level 7, he can't jungle per se. And just because of that one strategy, I think we're going to see a Suicide Madman. I mean, I could be wrong, and Madman could be short, and then they rotate like a behemoth jungle kind of thing, and they pull the creep wave. But just from what I saw in game 1, I think we're going to see a Suicide Madman.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll see if that ultimately comes about here. But Kinesis, that final pick from BMG. Again, we saw that in the hands of Boxy last game, of course. Bad Mickey Gaming going to get it here, and we'll see where that ends up. Again, it sounds like Own Me is just going to step in as their new Suicide player. The last game, it's kind of different because of how the lanes were ultimately set up. But so possibly going to end up for him, but we'll have to wait and see. The initial bans, by the way, Keeper of the Forest, Cthulhu Font, Ophelia, and Swiftblade. Man, I can't wait for those to be different after next patch. I'm just saying. No, but sneak peek. All right. Anyways, bands coming out here. Soul Stealer and Doctor. Yeah, I didn't say anything. Soul Stealer and Doctor Repulsor so far coming out. There's the Puppet Master. Very heavy carry bands. Jeez, on either side. You got Dark Lady.
I think if Behemoth is left unbanned, I think Tree will pick it up. Just saying.
Rancher and then Clinks. There you go.
I think, Behemoth isn't banned. I think, if I remember correctly, I think Tree value Behemoth over Blacksmith in terms of secondary support. And as Behemoth is on the board, and so is Blacksmith, logic dictates that Behemoth should be picked up here by Tree. If they pick up Behemoth, they can perhaps run short lane Madman, because when they run second support Behemoth, they run it as like a jungle thing. They're going to run Alonia short lane then, and then Suicide Madman as the sort of physical presence. So it doesn't matter. They still might pick up Behemoth, but Madman will definitely be Suicide now.
Yeah, so we've seen this before with Balthazar getting his hands in Alonia,
exactly.
and it's, I've always stressed a hero like this is fun to see.
Yeah, the hero is great. The one issue, I think, the last time they picked Alonia, it went terribly wrong because they had, I think it was Kinesis Suicide as well, and they had no physical presence. In this game, it's completely different. They've got Kraken for some, superior lockdown and the, splash, but they've got the Madman as well. And then they've obviously got the great Alonia sort of burst damage. So, I mean, again, just evidence that, Fusion is tinkering with his strategy. It might not be right first time, but he's slowly developing, it's evolving kind of thing to be even better. So, yeah, I think Alonia can work well here. Again, one of those carry heroes that can rotate into the jungle very early on, level 5. And then free up the lane for secondary support. In this case, I think it might be Behemoth. It could be Blacksmith again. I think it's going to be Behemoth because Frenzy on Alonia isn't that good compared to Frenzy on Soul Stealer. Obviously, the cast speed is nice and all. Don't get me wrong, but I think we might see Behemoth here. Because another thing that is really, really cool with Behemoth and Alonia is that they have incredible reach, and they don't have to sacrifice any kind of positioning to do their damage. Like Fisher is like 1200 range, and so is Glacial Spike. So they can initiate from very, very far away without having a portal kill, without endangering their positioning.
Yeah, so we'll see what that ultimately ends up being here, but that definitely makes sense as a valuable option. BMG, Tankafet really thinking about this 4th pick here. This isn't even their final pick. They're going to get down to just about 0 seconds here for extra time, so there you go. They go with Empath in the end as far as the support option goes.
So I think BMG are going to sort of switch up their strategy from game 1 and have kind of a hard carry. Like, Wretched Hag was fine. It did decent in the late game, to be fair, but they want something with a bit more carry potential. That's why they picked up the Empath here as well. Normally, you only will pick up the Empath if you have like a hard carry to go with it. Obviously, Dark Lady's banned, but Moon Queen's still on the board. Obviously, Sand Brave, Mage Bane, Silhouette Hat. Man, I love Silhouette, by the way. Like, I play it 24/7 on stream. I suck with it. I play it 24/7.
Fun to try.
Okay, so it's going to be Blacksmith then.
Right.
That's still decent. It gives them some tanky presence as well, and good initiation.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about Frenzy, maybe not as prevalent for Alonia. The cast speed is still not, but Madman, I mean, when he's first taken over, Frenzy's great for him, so.
No, you're right, Breggy. Yeah, I kind of disregarded that. No, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Of course I am, Mini-Mag. Come on now.
It's true,
right.
though.
So, yeah, so that's where it makes a little more sense. So, yeah, they go back to the Blacksmith. The back-to-back games of Blacksmith, man, just this crazy
what?
stuff. They go Bubbles. No, they actually picked that, right? They did, yes. Interesting, yeah, because so is Haxor going to be on Bubbles? But, yeah, that really makes the Empath pick very interesting because it's not a hard
I mean, I guess it does give, obviously, 80 attack damage and attack speed, though. Like, so it's, but still, I don't know, man. Because even though, obviously, they're fighting against Alonia sort of carry or Alonia short lane, they're still going to be going against Madman, and Madman is still, the #1 carry in this game right now, and regardless of how much Bubbles farms, I don't know, man. Who knows, though? Again, though, like, they had a good sort of strategy, BMG. Like, they had that good power code, but they didn't really execute it as well as I think they should have, kind of thing. They didn't, keep the pressure on. With something that BMG used to do very, very well, they had the early game aggression and they stuck at it, every single time. They never let their foot off the gas. So, yeah, with this Bubbles with this Bubbles pick, they might be able to sort of keep on that pressure. And who knows, man, they could be having such a big advantage by the 20 to 25 minutes that Madman can't even get farm, kind of thing. So, there's timings for each sort of strategy here.
One of the stats that Quincy pointed out going into really after last cycle going into this one was how last cycle actually hard carries in general just did not fare well overall. Your Dark Lady, your Gemini, or whatever, just your hard carry heroes that are considered to fill that role just did not really have the highest win percentage last cycle. It was their lowest, I think. So far throughout Haunt Tour Season 3. So, I wonder, I'm not saying that BMG thought about that. We're like, oh, well, that's the case, so we're going to go something different. But it's definitely worth looking at.
I think that's because a lot of the top teams didn't really run a lot of hard carries per se, and obviously Sync, they're more sort of push and sort of team fight very, very early on. So they sort of win or peak at 20 to 25 minutes, and no hard carry peaks at 20 to 25 minutes, kind of thing. It's like your initiators, your Polywheel pre-shot, your Krakens, your Magnuses. Those are the kind of heroes that Sync like to play, kind of thing. And so the hard carries don't really have a place. But I think now so more than ever, the meta is changing slightly or slowly. To more hard carries. I mean, it was carries calling patch after all, wasn't it? So,
That's true. That is true. Yeah, this upcoming patch is going to be pretty support heavy, as Waza has talked about and hinted at. Now, to be clear, I mean, just because it's support heavy doesn't mean that there's not a lot of other changes too.
Just ban that skill blade, man. Just please, just enough of that.
Do something to that. Do that Swift Blade and Cthulhu Font, maybe. I'm just saying.
Can you tell Waza to buff Defiler, by the way, and Panda up Defiler, and I'll be happy.
I walk in every day, and I have a list of heroes. Where I just walk in Waza, I'm like, buff this hero, buff this hero, buff this hero. I try to remind him every single day. Berserker's always at the top of the list, but...
Subliminal messaging,
Exactly, and then one of these...
I love Defiler, right? But Defiler just doesn't have a place, He's just too weak. But Pandemonium does have a place, but I just want it buffed because it's one of my favorite heroes. So.
I'm telling you, man, again, it's another, as we've always seen in the past, whenever a big balance patch comes out, and no doubt this upcoming one's big, things change. So definitely be prepared for that. It's going to be interesting how it's kind of coming, not even necessarily, it's coming later mid-season in this case here with Haunt Tour. So it's going to have an interesting impact. It's going to be great. And what's already been a very diverse season here, no doubt. Anyways,
just put on a little bit. I think one thing that's going to be kind of interesting with the new balance change is that it's going to favour the team that is very, very adaptable. It's someone who plays a lot of different strategies might be in favour because obviously they've got a lot of strategies in their arsenal, for example.
Yeah, absolutely. Top lane, Madman. He's going to kind of juke things around, of course. So yeah, interesting lane setups here. You got Empath Magnus at the top lane. They're going up against the Madman here. You got Bubbles deciding to go mid here. Actually, playing the Bubbles in this case, going up against Crackiest Kraken. Just like he played last game. And then, as expected, really, Baltazar and Alonia going up against Kinesis at the short lane. But yeah, what is your take here with deciding to send Empath Magnus top instead of just the Bubbles?
It secures the farm on the Magnus, and that's what they did last game. They got a very, very early portal key on Super KG, and then they rotated and did a lot of ganks here and there, which is fine and all. And if they put Magnus Empath mid, it would kind of get a little bit destroyed in their sense to Kraken. Obviously, Magnus might get a little bit more farm, but Kraken does incredibly well 1v2. And at the same time, Empath isn't the greatest in the middle lane. But in top lane, obviously, things like that can happen. A lot of harassment can be made.
Now, that was a great heads up by Boxing right there. He knew that they were going to try to chase to the tower, so he's like, I'm just going to go completely the other way. And not a lot of players maybe picked up on that, but Boxing, again, plenty of experience here. And does it just fine. He's going to stalk through once again. A big creep wave, but he will be fine, as he's got the tower to protect him right there. So staying alive, and that's the name of the game as usual in that suicide roll. No different here. Baltazar, though, once again looking back at Alonia. And again, Alonia's burst damage potential. We talk about Kinesis and her burst. I'm sure we're going to see that throughout the game as usual. But Alonia's got plenty herself as well. And the thing with Alonia, it's constant spammy burst damage. You know, with that Glacial Spike, the Flash Freeze on top of that. And then, of course, her Absolute Zero ultimate. And especially if you get a Staff of the Master. I know we've talked about that. Would you say that's almost like a core item on Alonia now with the Staff of the Master? Or is that like more of a luxury still?
What, the Staff of the Master?
Yeah,
sorry.
on Alonia.
To be fair, I think it's a good item, but I think it's less useful than just a plain old sheepstick, put simply.
Okay.
The sheepstick is just so strong. Like, I think if he's incredibly farmed, then I think you should go for it. But unless he's got like one item to go, I think sheepstick would be the way forward. But I think he's still decent though. He's incredibly good in team fights, and it has more of an AoE presence than just the sheepstick, for example. So I guess it depends on what they need. For example, if they need to lock down a hard carry, then sheepstick will be the way to go. But in terms of just raw team fight, I think Stealth Master is a little bit better. Okay, in this game, then I think Stealth Master would be a little bit better. But you just simply can't underrate sheepstick. I just think it's an incredibly strong item, and picking one up is never bad in that respect. But I think in this game, I think Stealth Master is still good. I wouldn't call Stealth core per se. I think it's a good item, but it's more situational. And in this game, I think it can be a good pickup.
Gotcha. Bottom lane, actually, Kinesis, he might be in some trouble. Stasis Smash comes out, so Blacksmith not going to really be able to follow up. But yeah, as we saw, top lane, actually, Madman, he's going to try to TP out. Do they have another stun? They probably don't. Yeah, that's why he did it. So well played by Baltazar right there, figuring they were basically all out of it as they were. And he gets away once again. Of course, he saw Parasite trying to roam over and set something up. You see a good job by Boxy as well, blocking that camp right there for Parasite, so he can't take advantage of it. But I was going to say, similar to the last game with the Soul Stealer transition, Lonia kind of the same aspect. I almost think you could say, I mean, they're really neck and neck when it comes to their farming potential, especially earlier on, Lonia and Soul Stealer. They just got a lot of damage potential, which is spammy damage. As far as magic is concerned. So, stacking the camps here, making it ready for Alonia once she eventually does make that transition. And then Blacksmith will pick up his farm. So yeah, even though it's with an Alonia, it's really coming down to a pretty similar strat in the long run here for our Legion team. Although I assume it's going to be more of a transition too, eventually to, of course, Madman getting a lot more of the farm as the mid to late game picks up. But
yeah, I think they're just going to give Alonia enough farm to sort of just AFK farm the jungle, and then obviously give the lane over to Blacksmith a little bit, and then, or even give up the lane perhaps to Madman, for example, just sort of farm up there, because obviously Madman is going to be the person who sort of carries and has a good impact in the later stages of the game, whereas Alonia just will be good in terms of mid-game team fights, whereas Madman simply won't, kind of thing. So it's all about prioritizing the farm at different times. It's all about timing stuff. Like if you AFK farm like the Madman right now, like he'll have good farm, but even in the mid game he won't be as useful as like a Alonia, for example. So it's all just good prioritization from Tree, which they do incredibly well. But here comes actually a smoke actually from Blacksmith top lane.
Is he coming in? What was that? Oh, yeah, back here. Okay.
He smokes up.
I was going to homer side for some reason, but yeah, he smoked up back here. He's trying to be patient enough. It's not going to last much longer. He only 3 more seconds. So unfortunately, not going to be able to make use of it. They're hoping to bait out the kill right here, but
they can still. Yeah, he could just stay up here though. Like if Empath gets too aggressive, for example, like the smoke was only kind of there to sort of dodge any lane wards, and Glacier's come up now as well. So. Good early rotation from supports.
That's a good point. Yeah, really using it just simply to get around wards.
It is. Yeah, that's literally what it is. Yeah, that's literally what it is.
They're really hoping they initiate. Oh, there we go. That's exactly what they're hoping for. Stun comes out. Magnus, he's going to be in trouble, but so is Madman. Taking some good damage as Parasite and Empath comes in, but bloodless kill in favor of Willowkeeper right here. Here comes Kinesis, though. She's going to launch some trees in the face of Glacius. They will get the kill on Madman right there. And now it's Blacksmith's Glacius versus Kinesis, and Empath make that Kraken pin here. And the release that Kraken comes out, and down goes Empath. Charge unnecessary. And in fact, that could be a saving grace. Nah, probably not. Kinesis is still dead right here as the splash attack comes out. So ultimately, big picture, Tree definitely winning that fight. And hey, that goes back to Glacius and Blacksmith sneaking up there.
Yep. And this is where I love to see I mean, I think Tree do play probably secondary supports the best, as we mentioned before, is because, like, if they're not farming the jungle, like in game 1, right, Blacksmith was AFK farming the lane while Soul Stealer was, farming the jungle. In this case, they can't do that, so they had to sort of switch up their play. They still want to be useful in terms of their support, so instead of just AFK farming or stacking, which would be that useful, they go for a gank kind of thing. So they've been really, really useful with what they've got kind of thing, really utilising their resources, which is nice to see.
Yeah.
And I mean, a level 5 Blacksmith or level 5 Glacius is 10 times more important or useful than a level 5 Parasite. So again, just understanding their sort of power levels at certain times and really sort of taking the advantage as a result. So that's really nice to see.
Yeah, top lane again, very possible action coming up here, and there we go. Eruption gonna be channel. Man, he can't do much. He will stalk away. That's gonna be enough in the long run. And now here comes the supporting cast. Wall is out though. Gonna cut them off from chasing Magnus initially, but now they go through. And Magnus eventually, no, he stuns out. He's good for now. He's kind of trapped in here. He's gonna stay in here. Blacksmith going for the TP. He knows they're all here. That's not gonna happen though, Cuff. But everything used in Blacksmith is picked off. So Magnus manages to survive. Super KG. Doing a great job of that. And also, of course, great support coming out from our Hellborn team. Everybody basically TPing in right there to assist. Now, Alonia is going to free push the bottom lane as a result of that. And most likely will be a tower kill. So.
It's a good trade, though, again. Like, yeah, they lose the 2 towers swap, but, I mean, it could even be questionable if that was even worth it kind of thing from BMG. They blow the kelp field, so that's 80 seconds of where Tree are kind of safe because no kelp field, but also they obviously leave Kinesis from the bottom lane and free up a tower bottom as well. Like Tree, just everything they do, they trade with it. It's just doing good, man. They're playing Hon how it should be. It's really nice to see.
Yeah, they are. Alonia level 7 now. She's at that 370 gold per minute. Again, this is where we're getting to that point where I assume some kind of transitions are going to start to be made here, specifically for Madman and Blacksmith even to maybe pick up some of their farm, but currently middle lane, Madman's stalking in right here.
They saw
getting
him.
it open. Did they see it in the last second? Yeah, they
Oh?
probably did. Maybe?
I don't know.
Maybe not.
Maybe?
Empath,
I think Empath would know.
Oh, they're kind of going nice. Take cover initially. Second C comes out. The dive is happening though. Bubbles trying to survive throughout all of this. He cannot. So yeah, he kind of didn't know he was there. It looked like, but still, with that information, wasn't able to survive. Charge away from Kraken. Glacius also takes some good burst from Kinesis. Mass control was used, and now Kinesis getting locked down as Alonia joins the party. Flash freeze out. There's the absolute zero. A lot of damage, but not nearly enough to save herself as she goes down. Boxy, though, a hat trick in the background. And he's going to TP out freely right here. Yeah, he hat trick for
simply
Boxy.
because of that.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's the reason, the biggest reason why that was the best thing for Tree. That is, although they'd lost the Alonia, like Alonia's kind of only there for like these sort of mid engagements. It's like the Madman who you want to get farm on. So if you trade like a death on Alonia for like a triple kill on Boxy, who's eventually going to be the scary threat later on, I think that's a good trade from Tree. Obviously they I think it was 3 for 2, wasn't it there? I think.
I believe
or 3
so,
for 1.
Yeah.
But yeah,
3 for 1. Yeah.
Either way. Just good come out from Tree, and it's kind of good that Boxy didn't die, because obviously, like I said, he was having a hard time in the top lane, but that triple kill there is going to put him on the right track towards good farm.
I would say still 350 gold per minute for a Suicide Madman. Not too shabby.
Yeah.
Nearly 10 minutes in.
Also, particularly, I said in the draft actually that I thought True would pick up the Behemoth instead of the Blacksmith. But one thing that's really kind of evident though, which is quite cool, is that I think Bubbles was picked up and then it was the Blacksmith, I believe, or it might have been the other way around. But either way, like Blacksmith is kind of cool against Bubbles because obviously the fireball is kind of instant. He can't take cover it, but like Bubbles can take cover a Fisher from Behemoth. So another kind of small feature that is kind of cool to see from
Bubbles was
Blacksmith.
the final pick.
Okay, right, yeah.
BMG,
But either way, Blacksmith is kind of cool
Yeah.
against Bubbles because he can't take cover the stun. So.
Yeah. That is true. But yeah, he was definitely the final pick. As we thought it was going to be hard carry, but they went the Bubbles there. So, middle lane, there we go. Yeah, it comes exposed right there. That's Blacksmith, and now comes release to Kraken, and Bubbles is going to be killed right there. Making use of that Valve Rod, and I am noticing too more that we're seeing it. It doesn't actually expose yourself right away.
Yeah. I think it's like
kind
a
of
0.5
delayed time. Yeah.
It's probably better as well, something, which is nice.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, for the person that used it. I mean, right there, Bubbles had no clue. By the time he did, it was obviously too late, so.
Yeah, and obviously the fireball going straight into the stun as well. No kind of cast animation that Bubbles can take cover again, which is kind of cool.
I'm so happy we're seeing that item right away.
Yeah, it's so fun, man. It
it
sick.
is a fun active item. That's a good thing. Kraken, in the meantime, he gets jumped on somewhat from Empath right there. Not the pick of steal, though, of course. They wanted to defend this tower, denying the tower. They will be successful. Put up one cost right here. Mass control comes out. Blacksmith falls. Kraken's going to end up falling as well. Alone gets caught out in the midst of it all. And she goes down a hat trick for the team of Bad Monkey Gaming. And they're going to go for the 4th kill. And by God, they're going to get the 4th kill.
What?
Maybe?
Oh,
yes. There's no way to escape right
weird.
there. Hat trick for Onmi right there on Kinesis. The only player not there was Madman, and he's farming the top lane.
Yeah, I think Tree honestly should be a little bit more preservative in terms of their engagements, though, because I mean, like at this moment, BMG are the strongest. But every one of these heroes are so strong in the early to mid game, like Magnus, Bubbles, Kinesis, Parasite, and I mean, yeah, Tree are obviously good in the early game as well. But they've got the Madman, who isn't great early game, but can be a real threat in later stages of the game. So maybe perhaps playing into BMG's hand, perhaps. But nonetheless, Madman is still farming, and that's the most important thing for Tree. Yeah. Because, I mean, Bubbles, regardless of what kind of farm he's got, he's not going to be outside carrier at Madman. So.
Yeah.
Very early to mid-game oriented of this BMG draft.
In middle lane, possibly some more action happening right here. Magnus comes in with the TP. See Bubbles trying to get into range. Blacksmith will get caught initially. Mass control on him. And that wasn't even mask. I was getting confused, man. That was just telekinetic lift, man.
And these spells from Kinesis are hard to.
Really hard to deter. Well, it's not only that, but then of course Storm Spirit and a stasis match. It's like, what's the difference? It's hard to, off the cusp right there, really tell the difference. So, anyway, they get the kill to Blacksmith. A good catch by them, and what's a very, very active game here, especially compared to the last game earlier on. 9-9 hero kills already, as we're only 13 minutes in. So. Definitely good to see that. And yeah, Baltzar and Alonia, seems like he's really kind of been caught out of position a couple of these fights here, being 1, 2, and 3 right now. So, gonna try to pick up some more farm, though. I mean, the GPM's up there, 360 gold per minute. Has a lot of core, early just farm items and to help build herself up with those stats. But, ooh, interesting pickup there. Alchemist Bone's coming out.
First of all, it's good because, like I said, Boxy needs to sort of secure that farm. So getting the, Alchemist Bones is sort of decent on that, but also he's playing against a Parasite, and I mean, I think it was a little bit questionable whether Alchemist Bones is good against Parasite, but I think the jury's out now. It's always good, put simply. It's better on some heroes than others. I think on Bubbles, actually, it's really good against Parasite because you can sort of take cover the damage from the puzzle box smaller. But regardless, I think it's just so good. It really makes Parasite have such hard time in team fights or just laning in general. So I think it's always good against a Parasite. I'd never question it. It's always good.
Yeah, I mean, I've become more and more. Well, I still don't know if again, take my opinion for what you will, but seeing a hero like a Suicide Bubbles and things like that, I still find a little iffy just for the purpose of trying to counter a Parasite. But at the same time, on a hero like Madman, it just makes a lot more sense because he actually gets a very beneficial use out of it in terms of just the static of what it does, the attack speed increase. Very powerful for a hero like Madman. So. That's where I really like this pickup even much more on him. Middle lane jump happening on a Blacksmith. Liz comes out. Beautiful counter from Willowkeeper right there. All of a sudden, Bubbles realizing, wait a second, that's not what we planned right there. And he kind of just walks away. So Magnus kind of the bait in a sense. And unfortunately, it backfires for them. So good execution, though. And again, good job by Willowkeeper being ready to make the big plays happen right there. You did see the portal key on Magnus coming into play right there, again, even with his death, but still he has it now, and that is good information for Willowkeeper. Bubbles is getting close to his, and we'll see if Kinesis perhaps goes that route or something more like a tablet instead, as he is pulling up quite a bit of gold right here.
Oh, Parasite?
No.
This could be really, really bad, actually, for Madman.
Where's Parasite? I'm so confused.
Ancients, help. Oh, my God. Glacier spotted him. Might not matter, though.
Oh, Legion. Oh, over here. God, I'm trying to find this whole time. Madman. Okay, that does get the one kill. Madman. No, he can't finish him off. He's in trouble now. As Blacksmith actually catches
Can't jump
with
into
Kraken. Yeah, he's like, infest Ancients, please. That's not going to happen. And a lot of the Ancients falling right there, actually, with the leftover dot damage.
That is really good, though. That's really good. Like, if Boxy dies there, it's going to be really bad, but losing the Glacius isn't bad for training the Parasite. And they lost like 2 Ancients as well, so they farmed most of the Ancients, killed the Parasite, and obviously Boxy survived. So
yeah,
good.
For some reason, I had so much trouble trying to find that one.
Sorry, I should have said Legion Ancients.
Yeah, you're like Hellborn, and went over there real quickly. Wait a second.
Did I say Hellborn Ancients?
You said Hellborn.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Throwing me off here. Anyways, I caught the tail end of that. So, but yeah, that's all for the most part what happened. Middle lane. Magnus, he's ready. Now he's only level 10 still, so only level 1 eruption here. But this could still be a pretty big jump if they execute at the same time that we saw what happened last time, and they're kind of setting up for that is the Legion side. Did Madman just spot him?
No.
I think he might have. I think they're playing this kind of cool. Yeah, they know he's here. Yep, there we go. Release the crack comes out. Eruption was being channeled and it gets canceled immediately. And down he goes. Meanwhile, Glacius does get picked off. Alonia puts down the flash freeze, but those are just illusions. So not the biggest deal right there. But yeah, they knew Magnus was there, and that's a beautiful start for BMG, or Willowkeeper, excuse me. They're going to try to capitalize even more. They will. Kinesis gets picked off as Boxy, another double tap for him, and it's going even further. Alonia, absolute zero, melts through Empath right there. And all of a sudden, a 3-for-2 exchange, I guess. Blacksmith did get picked off also in the background. And now you see the chase even continues once again. Bubbles, he's going to take some good damage from Madman. But now Parasite comes in. One more on attack. No one can't get it off. The bottle as well coming out from Madman, keeping him alive. And that's how it ultimately ended, looks like. So numbers, again, weren't crazy in favor as much as I thought they were, especially with Blacksmith getting picked off. But still, I think because of who got what, Willowkeeper definitely happy with that fight. Got Madman right now. He's looking at 413 gold per minute.
I was just going to pick him up, actually. Like, he just had 2 Alchemist bones, and I was going to say, I really hope he uses them. He runs back to base, and then he goes, oh, crap, I've got 2 charges, and he runs back. So I was just keeping tabs on that, but he did do it, so good play from Boxy.
Make sure to use it right there. It's now 2,100 gold saved up, so... what do you... I mean, Shrunken Head make a lot of sense here, I think it's safe to say.
Yeah, I think
for him.
he's going to go Helm. Oh man, Boxy doing Boxy things.
Is he actually going Helm, you think? Or could that be something like an Elder Parasite?
No, Elder Parasite and Madman, I don't think it works that well. Because he has such high attack speed anyway, especially with the Alchemist bows. He doesn't need any more attack speed, he needs damage kind of thing.
Now that I'm thinking about it.
It's going to be Helm because it's just Box. It works kind of nice with obviously the challenge because you can have kind of an unlimited regen, but yeah, it picks up the life chip as well. But I think Shrunken Head would do the exactly same thing, but kind of better in that respect. Like he's got bottle and blood chalice. If he didn't have the bottle, then maybe I'd agree with it a little bit more. But especially with the bottle and blood chalice, he has enough regen to sort of sustain without the helm.
Huh. Oh yeah,
but he's got a DD though.
Whoa, what a line Magma's done right there. They knew they were here somehow. Wow, Glacius gets picked off. Magma's going to be fine, but yeah, the Water Site MVP right there on the statue. See Kraken charges away before anything follows up on him. They continue. The stun actually hits Madman, and he's going to come out of stealth as a result, stunned. He gets another stock off, though. Release Kraken comes out for Kraken. Not the greatest placement. Madman's still caught in the background, though, and he eventually will fall. In the big picture right there. So BMG, a couple of kills. Eruption was channeled. They were hoping more would be committing, but nobody was. So the Eruption kind of worthless in a sense, but...
And this ward.
Yep. That ward really did a lot of work right there.
This was the same ward, actually, that spotted out Glacius when they were doing Ancients as well. I'm kind of surprised Tree didn't actually spot that ward out when Parasite came in for the Ancients, but nonetheless doing work. And this is exactly what BMG needs to be doing, though, because like this is where they're the strongest. Like level 11 on all their core heroes. Like Madman hasn't picked up a Stronger Head yet, like he isn't very strong. And I mean, BMG, they have no kind of other play. Like they can't take this late kind of thing because Bubbles is simply not going to carry him. So they're doing the right thing. Tree, honestly, I think they can take the engagements, but only specific ones if it is favourable for them. Obviously, that one wasn't very favourable because they didn't have the great initiation. But I mean, for BMG, they have a timer, but Tree don't kind of thing because they have this Madman, put it simply. So. Yeah. And even Kraken is very, very scary in the late game, but just because obviously the release of Kraken is superior and the splash is decent late game as well. So, whereas for BMG, it's just like all magical damage. They're all in kind of thing. So.
Sounds kind of similar to last game.
Yeah, I guess so. But even last game they had Wretched Hag though. This one is even more so, kind of thing. But they're doing more ganks though, as you can see.
They are continuing to be active, man, and this is going to be another kill as a result. Down goes Alonia.
Please,
right
God, just counter ward this ward, man. Like this is giving 3 kills already, even more.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, that is very true. And you figure right now, BMG, and it's watch, they're going to try to counter where it's just going to wear out anyways at this point. So, Madman middle lane, he is caught. Dust comes out. Keffa was holding him in place initially. You see the burst from Kinesis, not enough for a kill though. And now here's a turn kill chance from a Legion side. Stasis smash will start cracking. Oh, he taps and he goes inside. Beautiful teamwork right there from BMG Gaming, and now they're going back in themselves. It's a clash in the Middle Wars battle going on right here. Kraken does get picked off. The triple multicast on the Bubbles, but Madman did not want to dive that far. And in fact, Blacksmith also gets caught out with the beautiful Empath wall on top of it. Empath inside Parasite doing work. He goes inside the Heavy Ballista. So Empath going along for the ride right here. Kraken in the meantime, he buys back. He's looking to make something more happen. Release Kraken used right there. Hat-trick, though, coming out for Tankafet. And now he's going to walk away. Wow, that execution, man, was pretty on point from BMG right there.
Yeah, and Tree, honestly, they got a little bit picked off. Like, they got picked off, obviously, here in the Ancients, and then they were still in the sort of vicinity of the middle lane. Like, you normally would just let the Tier 1 tower drop, but they were still sort of hanging around, and then BMG just sort of capitalised on it. They forced the buyback from Krake as well, and, like, at the point where Tree needs to be slowing it down, they're trying to take these team fights kind of thing, and it's kind of not working that well because Madman just simply doesn't offer anything too much to the team fight. Like, he's picked up the Helmblood Legion, which is fine and all. He's kind of tanky, but like all he really does is like a barrel roll and a stalk here and there. But compared to like Bubbles or Magnus, like the stuns and sort of CC from BMG is just so much stronger than this Madman what he's sort of dishing out. So they're kind of fighting like 5v4 to an extent because Madman at this moment just doesn't offer too much. So I think Trini sort of slow it down as much as possible. They're in a good position, but when BMG start, you know, making the sort of momentum happen, it is like inertia. Like when BMG start making these ganks happen, they just don't stop. They're going bottom lane again, actually, breaking.
Yeah. There's the invisible ganks coming out. They are going to be exposed, but they find what they're looking for. Now, I believe damage was mitigated right there because he was still in the stasis smash, but in the end, he actually still falls, so that's a good thing. Yeah, you got to be a little careful off your kinesis right there when to throw your burst damage. Make sure he's actually on the ground when you do. But anyways, they get the kill, and well played right there. Again, using that Valid Rot to do so. And now they're going to push the bottom lane as a result of all of this. So, you know, going back to Madman, I really think this has something to do as well. You know, Boxy, he's not usually playing that more the carry role that they're really relying on to really, you know, if anything, he's kind of playing it as like a secondary carry almost usually.
Yeah.
But in this case, he is the hard carry as we keep going back to. And, you know, I think that has a little bit to do with the way he's still building, like he's almost playing that secondary carry here. With that Helm of the Black Legion and the early regen that he got and everything, wanted to be very active earlier on. Where instead if he kind of played more the I'm going to sit back and farm a little bit more effectively game, could be a different story right now. But bottom tower push is happening by BMG right here. Speaking of Madman, you see him coming out and actually going to get caught in the background. They're committed quite big right here. The tower is getting low. Bubbles will show stuff away. The tower kill is in favor of Bad Monkey Gaming, but as I like to say, but at what cost right here? Oh, look at that. Ballista.
He doesn't get the alchemist charges,
yeah.
but yeah. So that's one thing to know.
Well played right there. Alonia, by the way, she has a glowstone, so
Stuff, man. Yeah, I said it was a good item to go in this game. I don't think it's going to be Icon because I think he isn't really going to be sort of the focus in these team fights, and they need the extra lockdown and damage, which Alonia needs to sort of compensate for the lack of damage from Madman, and Stealth Marsh is what's going to happen in that respect. So yeah. I think Staff would be good. Glowstone's probably the best item to go in terms of going Staff components. So.
All right. We got Madman picking up a refreshment.
Oh,
here, Glacius, yes indeed. Yeah. Gets picked off.
The BMG, this is, I think this is what they should have done, honestly, in Game 1.
Yeah.
Because they're being hyper-aggressive, and Tree, at this point, they can't really get too much involved. Like, no Shrunken on Kraken, no Shrunken on Madman. Like, this is where BMG really do thrive. After these Shrunken heads, though, then obviously, yeah, Tree are going to be ahead, but BMG finally have found, this is our timing, this is how to play, and they're doing it well, obviously. But at the same time, Tree, they are getting picked off, so it's, to a slightly at the fault of Tree as well, but...
Magnus, man, he's finding himself in a pretty good spot right here. Decent positioning for a flank, but you can tell Willowkeeper is not very comfortable being around that area as they get a free tower kill top as well. That was just simply the creep wave doing their thing, so... Nice little benefit there coming out for Willowkeeper, but here comes a jump attempt at least. Kraken does get caught with the kill field. In comes a flank from Kinesis, dodges the stun right there from the charge. There's a throw in the air. Absolute zero, though, comes out. Kinesis takes a lot of damage from that as a result. Madman's also in trouble. The Glacial Spike's not enough spam damage. Parasite, though, left alone in the background. He will eventually fall. No, he stays alive. He took over the Mauler. He gets the one kill. He finally does fall, but at least he took somebody with him. In the long run, humiliation actually coming out. Yeah, that's not an often thing. Bubbles gets away and it will be fine. Yeah, so it's safe to say the initiation right there from BMG wasn't.
They really overextended. Yeah, like Bubbles sort of went on his own. Only got one person in a single of the Sea Kelpfield, and when you have great AoE spells like that, you need to be hitting 2 or 3. Otherwise, it's just not worth it. And so when Hackstrom went in, like Tree had enough time to really kind of sort of react to it. And like they're fighting in such an awkward position as well. Like BMG have to run uphill. Like Parasite had to run uphill. Then you got 3 times multicast, and like the positioning here from BMG was just really hard. Like the portal key kind of heroes like Kinesis and Bubbles and Magnus were fine, but Parasite and Empath, like they couldn't be involved because the positioning was just so weird kind of thing. So yeah, just a bit of a bad initiation from Axtrin, but I mean he's the carry player, so I guess you can't blame him.
Sure you can. He's a carry player. Staff of the Master picked up by Alonia, so has that now. And again, just to reiterate what that does, I know it's more newer than a lot of them. It makes it so when it finishes going out, it then comes back in and flash freezes everyone on the way back. So it's not only more damage, but it's a great crowd control assisting tool now too, as far as the stun being applied. So yeah, very, very powerful Staff of the Master effect, to say the least, for Alonia right here.
More smokes as well. Man, I love this. It's getting utilized so much now. Actually,
it's
awesome.
Great to see.
Like, also one thing that's quite cool as well. Like, if you, I think if you use Veiled Right and you're like against like an Invis hero, you obviously come out of your own smoke, so there's an Invis hero
so
around.
If you have dust on you or something.
Yeah, so like you can use like smoke, and then if your smoke gets popped or whatever. Ooh.
Big gank attempt. Blacksmith just went on the other side of the tree, so that was huge. And now they got the uphill advantage right here, but now they are going to see Blacksmith taking some good burst. Here comes the Blades cracking, though. Blacksmith is still alive, actually. He's got a silver to use, no multicast, but doing it to Bubbles right there. Bubbles thrown in the air with the safe smash, mitigating some damage, trying to survive. Kraken goes down, the burst from Kinesis comes out, but Bubbles does end up falling in the long run. Multicast, the big eruption from Zero KG once again. Absolute Zero comes out. That's going to cut over the flash freeze. Candalonia somehow just a quad kill over Take Effect. It's a freaking Parasite with a quad kill. He's going to go for the Annihilation. He's trying 1 kill for Alonia. There's the kill onto Alonia, though. Super KG takes away the Annihilation, but they get the Genocide. That's what really matters. Wow. I mean, if Alonia had one teammate up right there when that flash freeze hit, that could have been a completely different story.
Man, that Magnus eruption, like, insane. Like, they stunned onto all 3, I think, and he obviously got the eruption off as well. And it was just too much. Like, again, without these shrunken heads, Tree are just so weak. Like, there's so much AoE from Reason. From BMG. Like, the bubbles, the Magnus, even the Kinesis are doing so much magical damage, and Tree have nothing to address it because they've got, like, Helm of Black Legion and other kind of weird items when they should be going really shrunken. And BMG, like, they don't even care. Like, BMG at the moment, the last 10 or 15 minutes, they haven't even been farming. They've just been trying to fight. And it's been working for them because, they have not given the space to Tree. And, I mean, after that team fight, they're looking very, very good. And until Tree get these shrunken heads, like, they're going to keep on losing these team fights.
Jeez, that was a beautiful fight. And how about Tank Effect, too? He got a hat-trick earlier. He got a quad. I mean, this is Parasite. This is not your typical, I'm going to get hat-tricks and quad kills and fights kind of hero. He's all about the single target damage. So I got to think, maybe it has something to do with the Puzzle Box Mauler explosions, perhaps, that are getting some kills here. But he's managing to pick up some kills, and 11 and 3 and 8 right now.
It is Parasite, though. It's pretty Ebola, that hero. It's just,
obviously. Yeah, no, he's didn't get the Annihilation. Sure. A little bit of like, are you kidding me, Super KG? But at the same time, they in a fight like that with the game like where you're down 1-0, especially, you do want to make sure to get the kill nonetheless. And that's what Super KG did right there. So it's good kiting. But I mean, you saw the potential there of Alonia, though, with the staff. I mean, really, if you had just simply like even a Madman or like even a Glacial Downpour coming out on top of it, how big that could have been. But wasn't to be. But yeah, if she's able to get there a little sooner, get that off sooner in a better position, or in a good position, I should say, like she did that time, then that could be a big factor. But yeah, Bad Monkey Gaming, just like last game, even more to an extent, looking pretty good. And that goes back to, as you're just stressing, the lack of shrunken heads here on the Legion side. I was looking at the missing vestments too. Yeah, everyone has one but a Glacius, so Swinnamelons would be proud for the most part here. But
yeah, I mean, investments are good and all, like, it reduces the damage, but it's not even just the damage, it's like, it's the CC, it's the stuns, it's the silences, it's like the slows, it's all those things that are really having a big impact in the team fights as well. I mean, investments are good and all to get the damage, but CC is something that investments just simply can't help with compared to a strong head, of course. So.
Yeah. Looks like BMG in the pause mode here, and they need a couple minutes, so let's just take a glance here at the brackets. Okay, it's official, Sync Esports 2-0 over Prime Icarus. Again, I'm not sure when that exactly finished, but you got to think it was, pretty, I don't want to say easy by any means, but understandable to see that result. Put it that way. As Sync takes care of business, so that's good to see. For them and their fans, Rexars and Shrek is Love tied at 1 game apiece. over there in their matchup. Again, I'll actually pull up the brackets for you guys to see. Rexers and Stricken Soft. So again, two teams that came up from gold 2 cycles ago, and here they are in Diamond Cycle 6 now. And that's actually a mistype right there. I apologize. This is Cycle 6 brackets, not Cycle 5. But anyways, the point being that they're matched up and they're actually going to a third and final game. They actually met the last cycle as well in the losers bracket before Rexars eventually won 2-0, I believe, in that series. So it's going to be fun to see how that plays out. The winner of that will play Sync Esports, though, as you see. And then we're also looking at the bottom portion, of course, Nullstone versus Reason. Nullstone, are they? Okay, the brackets, I assume, just need to be manual. I'll try to get an update on that, because
Reason playing Nullstone Gaming as well.
That's what
Reason
I
have
said,
got,
yeah.
Reason have got their infamous Behemoth, man. Near plays a godly Behemoth, man.
Oh, yeah?
I'm not, like, every single time Behemoth is up, like, Imberboy will, like, almost first pick it every single game. It's ridiculous.
Behemoth. Yeah, that's kind of a newer Reason Gaming team. Of course, they had that new roster, and then they dropped down to gold, unfortunately. So that was kind of a disappointing start, but here they are back in Diamond now, Cycle 6, and trying to get some revenge here and make a statement against Snowstone. So yeah, I'm not sure on the score. I'm trying to get an update on that one. I know that's being a couple of casters, so I'm sure somebody would have some information on that. If anything, chat will update us if they can. And then we got our game, of course. 1-0 Tree right now, but if BMG keeps us up, we could be going to a third game ourselves at this point. So the monitor game here of Nullstone versus Reason. And the game that they're in, oh my god, it actually might be the first game. It's an hour and 21 minutes.
What the hell? Oh my goodness. I didn't even see the score. I just saw Near's Behemoth. That's all I was looking at.
Oh my god.
That must be the
longest so the
game,
brackets aren't bugged. That literally is just the first game.
Oh, I think they just left, yeah. They just finished.
They just finished.
I don't know
who would have won then. I mean, I can't tell looking at this.
I couldn't tell.
There's no way. I would say Reason won just because of tower advantage and slightly higher with the stats and everything. But
Swiftblade and Valkyries are like, if you took like late games, Swift and Valkyrie's gonna
actually let me update the brackets. If it just finished, then it might be updated now. Yep, Reason Gaming wins it 1-0.
You'd assume so. Near Behemoth, man. Near Behemoth.
That near Behemoth.
Yes.
Let me show you guys what we're talking about. I realize I still got you guys in the brackets. There you go. So that's what we're looking at right there. So that game apparently just finished.
Is that the longest game? 91 minutes?
No, that's not 90 minutes. That would be 81 minutes.
Oh, yeah, of course. I can't even count. God.
Math hard. I know. No, so 81 minutes. So it's up there. I don't think it's the longest that we've had. I want to say we've had something like 86 minutes or something. But yeah, that's just game one. So Reason Gaming getting a very nice start here in Diamond Cycle 6. Again, it's the best of the 3, though, so... Nullstone, the runner-up from last cycle. Is Diglett's playing? Oh wow! I thought he was actually going to be casting. So he's actually streaming his perspective. Okay.
Who are they dropping? Who are they missing? Cholo Simeon.
Yes, that guy.
That guy's decent, man. That guy's actually he plays such a I think he was casting it the other day with Beef, man. He plays at sick Magnus.
Yeah.
Like the initiations were just like It was that good. It was a sound noise. It actually was. So sick.
What you got playing Rhapsody? I find that kind of interesting, actually.
Yeah.
Playing more.
Secondary support, isn't it?
Secondary support, so yeah, not running the jungle.
This is. But do you remember like Breaky? Like I'm gonna take like 100% of this credit. But do you remember like 2 or 3 months ago, I was saying if you're gonna play secondary support, make sure it's kind of a kind of weird ass support like Behemoth or Blacksmith. Don't pick 2 laning supports. Like, don't pick Glacius and Rhapsody because it doesn't work. Pick like a Glacius and then like a Behemoth kind of thing. And Tree are doing it right here. So pretty much all the successive trees.
I mean,
I'm joking.
I want to say heroes like Behemoth and Magnus have been around a lot longer than you've been
No.
around the
I
scene. So
I mean, like when we were there though, we saw a lot of secondary supports, but it was just like the Empath and Glacius or Rhapsody and Glacius. We didn't see a lot of secondary supports that were out there.
You're right. A lot. Yeah, I do agree with that. It seemed like for the longest time it was more prevalent to kind of go like NG. Glacius
yeah, those kind of
like
good laning supports, but like the Blacksmith and Behemoth are still decent, like mid to late game.
Yeah. Just
because of what they offer, kind of thing. So.
Yes, sirree. All right, so we're getting close, or maybe even now past that 3 minutes. I think if it suggested they need it, so hopefully we'll be getting things rolling here once again. But yeah, definitely some action to keep on there. Again, Reza versus Nullstone. That's being covered by Xenoviper. Twitch.tv/Xenoviper over there. So.
By the way, another hero, right, that is never used, but it's so sick. It's Pearl. Why do we need... Like, I don't understand. When Pearl was introduced or released, everyone's like, "Oh my god, Pearl broken, OP," and then we saw it 0 times. Outside of BMG carry, but
that was the greatest thing too, because it was a list of 6 heroes that became eligible. I remember that. I forget exactly.
Stay green.
Ravener, Lodestone. Yeah, I forget all the others, but she was the one that everyone was saying we're at least going to see her, and then we never saw her.
Everyone was like, "Oh, I'm going to blind ban it every single game." See it.
So hyping it up so much, and then no one actually touched it.
Yeah, I really like the hero. I think it's great. I think if there's going to be one team that would pick up, it'd be Tree, because they can run it as a... I don't think it's strong enough in laning phase to run it as a single support, but as a secondary support, I think it can do decent.
Yeah, no, she actually has pretty good initiation, as we've seen. I mean, her ultimate's
it's just the ult, man.
Up there with being one of the better ones in the game for team fights and saving teammates and everything. So, and she has a purge, which is also pretty nice too.
Yeah,
it's not needing to get a nullifier purge. Not many heroes have a purge ability, so very true.
Decent against similar rage carriers.
Decent in several cases, yes. All right, back here to game number 2. Again, Tank, or I almost said Tank if it up. No, Willowkeeper up 1-0 here in the Best of 3 series, but BMG looking pretty strong here in game number 2 right now. Now we keep going back to it when it comes to late game potential. You got to give that credit to Willowkeeper, but we ain't there yet, and it's going to be a little bit longer before we get there. So that's where BMG has a chance. Bubbles, he is going more of the, not necessarily hard carry Bubbles by any means, but a harder carry Bubbles than your typical initiating ganking. Bubbles,
I mean,
the Light
when I think when Stay Green sort of run Bubbles as sort of like a call with Jesse, that they picked up the Grimoire, didn't they, straight away kind of thing. And I mean, Bubbles is a great hero, and I guess he can somewhat carry if you itemize him correctly. Because if you think of Wretched Hag, we all think Wretched Hag can carry, but she has no passives and she's just got good mobility. And in the same case, Bubbles can do the same. Doesn't have any passives but has good mobility kind of thing. Yeah. Arguably more so because he's got the take cover as well. So who knows, man.
Glacius being sneaky right here. Is that a Valdora? Yes, it is. He's going to see or get in position to place a ward aside even, which he does. So it's also kind of another cool tool of it when you think about it. It gets those supports an option or a better way to try to get a good ward sight down by sneaking past others and getting in an aggressive spot. So Fusin making use of it right there. But yeah, Bubbles level 16 now, going back to his farm. He doing the Ancients here. They're going to be looking to finish that Grimoire and dealing some fairly decent damage as a result of that. I gotta want to, so if he goes Grimoire here, what do you think? Maybe is it gonna be going the Wretched Hag style into just a straight up shrunken head to follow, or maybe something like a Hellflower or that Sheepstick eventually?
Again, I love Sheepstick. I think the item is so good, and in this game as well, Madman was doing absolutely nothing in team fights because he doesn't have any damage. But when he picks up Shrunken Head, he's going to do at least something because you can just right click. But if you pick up the Sheepstick, you can kind of burst him down. Yeah, I know he's got the helm and stuff, but still, it can be just so strong in that respect.
Yeah.
I mean, Hellflower I think Hellflower is kind of only decent if you're sort of going against sort of escape mechanisms like kind of Doctor or Mage Bane or those kind of heroes. If you just want the lockdown, I think Sheepstick is always more favourable in that respect. So I think Sheepstick would maybe be better after the Grimoire. But at the same time, if you're going to run hard carry Bubbles, you need to make sure you can reliably get your auto attacks off. So Shrunken Head is going to be needed. I guess it depends on how comfortable Haxorn is sort of feeling. He's got Tablet and Portal Key. If you are a really comfortable Bubbles player, you won't need to sort of pick up the Shrunken Head because you know you can sort of be that elusive. But if Haxorn isn't feeling that comfortable, then he might just pick up the Shrunken Head just to be sort of on the safe side in that respect.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy being 31 minutes into a game and not seeing one Shrunken Head at all picked up on either side, especially on the side of Willowkeeper.
The item is so strong, but Tree are just so reluctant to get it.
Yeah.
It's sometimes, but
hell, even BMG though not having one. I mean, they're getting there. You see, Magnus, he actually just about has one himself. But
I mean, with BMG, there's sort of a few heroes that it's better to get Shrunken Head. Madman Shrunken Head, Kraken Shrunken Head is perfect, but Shrunken Head and Magnus is a little bit more questionable kind of thing. So
yeah.
So it's a little bit more forgiving in that respect if they don't get one. So.
Push middle lane coming out right here from Bad Monkey Gaming. Now, Magnus is not with them, so I'd be a little, hesitant right here if I was BMG. to go for an all-out push. It looks like they're going to kind of weight things up and make sure at least Magnus in the vicinity.
Magnus literally just walked past the DD. Unless Bubbles is going to like go bottle it or something.
He did, yeah. Is he?
Oh,
yeah,
no,
he
yeah. So, scratch that.
They got the token on Bubbles, of course, at this point, so got about 4 minutes now remaining. Shrunken Head just finished on Kinesis. We were talking about that, so congratulations. Him and Madman both pretty much get a similar timing.
He's got Storm Spirit as well. That item's so good against Tree. Like if they can, like Tree's got with gameplay in terms of like team fighters. If they can get like one good lockdown on like a particular hero, like maybe even the Bubbles for example, because he's sort of rotating onto that hard carry role, they can easily get it like a portal or like a stun from Blacks if it's sort of portal key charge and like release the Kraken is going to sort of secure the kill onto Bubbles. But that Storm Spirit is completely nullify it. Like that item is so good. Like Spindelmellers used to sort of run and rave about it like day in day out, and it's because the item's just so good. Put simply, like it can completely nullify any initiation onto one particular hero. And also with portal key as well, it's just 10 times better because you can have that instant counter initiation kind of thing. So.
Madman stalking around the bottom lane. He's looking to see if he can get an opportunity. Instead, just going to push out the creep wave. Oh, Alonia comes in. They find Parasite, actually. And this could be some big jump right here. Wizard taking over. Alchemist Bones will cancel it immediately. Madman, though, he gets caught himself now. Pops that Shrunken Head. Trying to run away. Look at Kinesis chasing. Oh, missed the mass control. Beautiful tablet from Blacksmith. Then he gets away. Rudizy making the big place right there to avoid damage from Onmi. Madman will get caught, however. You see the double damage Bubbles with or Empath inside. As well as that now Dominator. Yeah, he was hitting pretty damn hard right there. So actually Boxy gets caught out and dies in the end. So it was a great start for Tree as far as getting away initially, but in the long run, getting a pick off on Madman, pretty big deal. And actually the token, about 230 remaining, so this is actually going to set up pretty well for them. Madman doesn't have a buyback either. Oh, this is huge. They need to really capitalize, though. They're kind of farming the jungle right now. I was going to say, they need to get bottom.
Yeah.
Push that out.
Yeah, with Parasite as well, like you can somewhat sort of have that push potential because of Parasite. Like he's got a Hell Cannon from his own side, but he's taken over the Legion one as well, and obviously he's got the Abyssal and the Soul's Bulwark. So, yeah, this push is going to be somewhat decent from BMG. Madman will be up, I think, when the team fight happens, but at least they're going to do a lot of chunk of damage onto this tier 3 tower.
Yeah. Gonna try at least, so that's the idea here. You got the Ballista. Leading the way with Parasite.
There's some good spam though from Tree. Like the Alonia is so much great, it's so good counter push. So.
Alonia's up there with the best ones. I mean, we don't see her a lot, so maybe forget about that. But yeah, she's up there with the Flash Freeze, with the Frigid Field, I should say, as well as the Glacial Spike. Yeah, it's very difficult to push against her. So, and on top of the occasional Tundra Blast from Glacius, so yeah, it's not going to be as effective as a push as I'm sure.
The fake back.
BMG is hoping for, kind of. Yeah, they're Empath actually porting out though.
Yeah, it's just going to bait. They're like, oh guys, we're back here. Empath is here, and then they're going to try and go. Don't get spotted by the creeps.
They're kind of running into each other. Yeah, no, they realize it's not going to work though. Good job by Tree being patient and.
Nice idea though, because they sort of send Empath mid, sort of pretend like, oh yeah, we've all gone back kind of thing. We're showing on the map, but Tree aren't having any of it. So. Yeah.
So good try definitely by them, but yeah, well played by Tree there. Again, the golden experience lead though really starting to grow here for Bad Monkey Gaming. 11,000 gold lead, 14,000 plus experience lead here. And now 35 minutes into this game, Madman again though with the Shrunken Head. He's level 16 here. Ideally, he'll continue to keep progressing and become a scary hard hitter later on. Tankafet's been doing this a lot lately, you know, with this build here. Abyssal Skull into the full Demonic Breastplate. It's like, it's really, Parasite has really transitioned so much as far as his item progression goes. I mean, you used to see Ring of Sorceries, then Codex, and now it's the Abyssal or Puzzle Blocks. Now it's just building up really tanky support in this case, so there's a lot of different ideas with this hero.
A lot of evolved strategies and stuff. Yeah. It kind of makes you think, it's like, guys, why didn't we pick up Puzzle Box like a year ago? It's just so obvious now, but we never thought of that.
Yeah, it did get a good amount of change, but yeah, it's even after it got those changes with the level 1 and level 2 of the minions, it still wasn't really seen that much till more recently. So,
like, it seems to sort of be such good synergy, but we never saw it.
Yeah. Blacksmith, or kinda. He's trying to do something to Bubbles, but of course take cover, kicking in, and there's a triple molding cast though. A lot of good damage coming out right there. He doesn't have a token anymore.
It's like half his HP.
Yeah.
So sick. A hero.
He doesn't have investments, so he's fairly squishy actually. No Shrunken, no vestments. Yeah, Bubbles is not the tankiest hero right now, and he's going to pour it out right here, as we see. It's a good choice going to the top lane. Clean that out. It's a good job by Kraken actually pushing the top. Oh, no, that wasn't Kraken. That was Madman pushing the top lane. And now ports back to base, so good. Willa Keeper keeping BMG occupied, not letting them push into the base. It's very smart on their part because they definitely need the time to continue to recover here and get to a very strong point. Again, Madman now 2,200 gold saved up, so what are you thinking here for Madman as we see a Sheepstick very likely in the works for Loney here, but something like maybe a Brutalizer?
I think Brutalizer would be decent. Like, they need some extra lockdown, and it's just synergizes so well with Madman as well. I think eventually they'll need some actual hard carry potential, maybe like a Savage Mace or even Rift Shards, but I think Brutalizer is a nice little build up. Like, excuse me. Another thing you have to sort of realise is that the next team fight could be game winning for BMG. So picking up like full Brutalizer than like just a Slayer for like the Savage Mace is just so much better. So Brutalizer for 3,011. Like, it's what can he buy for like a small amount of gold that will make a big difference in team fights, and I think that's going to be Brutalizer. Because if they can win the next team fight, I'm pretty sure they might be able to take the game.
Yeah.
It's just going to be the next death push pretty much from BMG. Can they defend it?
Man, this could be a longer first round the more I'm thinking about it, because especially if this game happens to go into Game 3, you got the Reason Nullstone series. Their Game 1 just finished recently, so this could be a later starting round of 2. But hey, we've had a break here since we've had some good Haunter action. Nothing wrong with that, and plenty of fun coming at us, and already great action coming at us as expected. So you got Empath scouting things around with that Bound Eye, trying to see if she can counter anything just out of range of this one here, but of course, that one's actually just about to despawn, so not the biggest deal in the world. She'll probably see it, or maybe, but hopefully she doesn't invest into countering it, because, yeah.
One thing I'd actually really love to see Tree do is that I'd like to see him go for a smoke gank, but like a minute or two before Congo. If they can go, like, the reason if they go for a smoke, like, 5 minutes before Congo, like, it's not going to be that big of a deal, because, you know, they're going to get a kill, and it's like, okay, yeah, we've got a kill and all, but at the same time, it's got a big risk at the same time. But if they do it like a minute before Congo, it'd be like a worthwhile reward in that respect. Because if they get a smoke gank off and then get Congo, like it could be even game breaking kind of thing.
Yeah.
They're looking for a gank, which I think is the right play to make, because they can't sit back and just wait for the BMG to push in. Because BMG, first of all, they're out farming because they have the better sort of map control. And secondly, BMG, I think they're waiting for the next Congo because they want the advantage before they go up high ground, which is understandable. But for Tree, like, just sitting back is not the way to go, because although they do have the late game, like, if BMG is sort of controlling this much of the map and they're going to be controlling Congo, I think they're going to be in a bad situation. If they go for a smoke in the next... I don't actually know when the Congo time is. Do you know when the next Congo is up, by any chance?
It's going to be up here, like, I would say by, like, 41, honestly. It's got to be coming up here pretty quickly.
Because I think they should go for that kind of smoke gank, though. Because I think sitting back, they must realise they're very far behind. And maybe they're sort of comfortable in taking the team fight, even against Token, and they don't want to risk, getting caught out in a gank. But if this was me, I think I would be trying to go for some sort of aggressive plays, because I think it's getting to the point of desperation, honestly. But who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Kinesis, I could have sworn earlier we were talking about how she had a shrunken head, but what I'm realizing, I think she actually had the pattern for the shrunken head, and then I don't know if that was just a troll purpose or if that was just more so to kind of still deciding what she wanted, but she ended up selling that back, I'm sure, for full price, and eventually going the tablet here as we see. So, but just was kind of caught up with that. It's like I really could have sworn we saw that, but
tablet is great though.
Happened. But yeah, tablet makes sense.
They got 4 tablets in. Like Kraken, unless he gets like a perfect.
Wow.
Like, even if he gets a perfect charge into release the Kraken, like, one tablet is just going to sort of save him, so...
God, look at that Parasite, man. Demonic, Abyssal Skull. No wonder he got a quad kill earlier. Dude, I mean, we've also seen it now a couple times. Empath jump inside Parasite, and I almost wonder if that's their goal, like if that's Empath's goal this game, because for a couple of reasons. I mean, as we see here, he's kind of going a pretty aggressive right-click auto-attack build. I mean, he's not going all out with it, but he actually does some good damage at this point. Hell, even the puzzle boxes does some of that. But
what if Empath jumps into Parasite, the Parasite jumps into a creep?
Exactly. Well,
like
that's what I was getting at, because it's even extra protection in a sense for both of them as to help get away. Now, Magma's top lane. Okay, he kind of goes in right now. He's just by himself, but Madman's going to port away. That's unfortunate.
Alone been sitting up here for like at least 2 or 3 minutes, and this is what I mean. Like, I think they have to make these aggressive plays, because I think when the time is bad, when like when when you're in a bad situation, I think you have to make these aggressive plays because it's worthwhile on the risk.
Yeah.
Because now Congo's going to be like, this is what I said it like 5 minutes ago. BMG were going to take the Congo and then push off of that, and I don't think Tree will be able to really withstand it. Like, they're nearly 20,000 experience behind, nearly 14,000 gold behind after this Congo kill. And I mean, yeah, they have Shrunken Head on Kraken and Madman, and they do have the later game, but you're still fighting against Token and 13,000 gold deficit. Is it going to be enough? I'm just not sure, but I guess they feel comfortable in sort of fighting or defending their high ground against 6v5, I guess.
Now, Parasite, the one that gets the token here after they kill Congo, and how do you feel about that? It's kind of like last game where it's like, is that your best choice? I guess there's no obvious, and they're going to jump right here, quick burst on a Glacius, but here we go. Legion team looking for revenge. Parasite, he gets locked in initially, but again, especially with that token of life, he's not really worried too much. Kraken, he's continuing to be locked down. Mass control, down goes Kraken. He's basically locked down that whole fight right there. He does buy back immediately, and that'll be a cue for Bad Monkey Gaming to possibly fall back. Glacius still dead, but of course, not the biggest deal. That is Kraken's final buyback as well. So
worthwhile buyback, though. I
big deal.
think it might actually deter BMG to continue pushing, perhaps. I guess they only wasted the Kinesis ult, but I mean, they did lose the Shrunken Head and Bubbles.
Yeah.
I don't know, BMG.
Kind of hanging around somewhat. They're going to heal up a little bit here. Bubbles and Parasite.
Oh, Sheep's looking alone now. This might be big, actually.
That's big, but again, that's got an all in,
Bubbles.
too, because she does not have a buyback here. So if she gets picked up, it could be troublesome.
I think they can burst Alonia down, though. They've got good enough initiation. Bubbles, Kinesis, and Magmas, as well as Parasite. I think if they just blow up Alonia, it might be worthwhile trade, actually. Like, they've still got token on Parasite. Yeah, going back to sort of the token Parasite, I think it's decent. The reason why it's decent is because I don't think Bubbles will actually die, because he's got Shrunken Head, and he's got Tablet and Portal Key, and then the takeover. Like, he's so many skills in terms of elusivity that I don't think he will die. And at the same time, it allows Parasite to sort of stay up in the front ground and be in that sort of catapult and make they're going in.
They're going for an aggressive jump right here. Kinesis, the target flash freeze comes out. Not the best placement though. It does minimal damage. Glacial spikes in the background. Blacksmith does get picked off. However, they do get the kill on a Kinesis, but again, they use a lot of resources. Will this work out in the long run? This Kraken comes out. Magmus eruption on top of Alonia, and Alonia is going to be picked off. As stated earlier, she does not have a buyback, so that could be the opening right here for Willowkeeper. Yeah, nice portal key usage, getting away. Not enough for Madman, however. He got locked down, trapped in there, and he eventually falls. A 4-for-1. Somebody bought back, right? Yeah, it looks like Bubbles or Kinesis bought back.
No. I think
Nobody
so.
actually bought back? Okay, well, anyways, they're going to go for the burst now on a Kraken. They chase him down. Mass control takes out Glacius. Kraken falls at BMG. Might have just got the opening they were looking for to really secure this game here.
They killed Alonia.
3. Yep, yeah, she got
They
no
killed
buyback.
Alonia.
So
No
buyback
buyback,
on Madman.
I think that's going to be game as well. Although
has
Tree
to
aren't
be.
tapping out, I guess.
Yeah. No, that has to be, though. They're just probably talking about it, if anything, but they literally have nothing right now. Blacksmith, the only one up. And what is he going to do by himself against all 5? So I'm sure we're going to see a game number 3 here. And hey, I ain't complaining. I'm sure nobody really is.
Yeah,
all,
and kind of this is where, I mean, maybe I'm just talking from hindsight now, but I did say, like, before the Congo was up, I think they should go for like an aggressive smoke and go from there. I mean, Tree were happy to sort of defend against the token, and I guess clearly it was the wrong decision. They should have tried to get aggressive, try and delay, the push from BMG, try and maybe snipe Congo for themselves, but nonetheless.
Was it to be? Well played by Bad Monkey Gaming, definitely deserving of the victory. We do see again Willowkeeper going for an absolute last-ditch effort. Triple multi-gas, maybe afraid of the Han Gods right here. Go for something. Parasite may actually fall, but again, he has a token, so he's going to come right back up. Not the biggest deal in the world. Meanwhile, Kinesis is going around, launching trees every which way, doing damage. And there's the GG's being called, so it is official now. Game 2 goes to BMG. And ladies and gentlemen, that means we're going to a third and final game. So Bad Monkey Gaming, I mean, talk about a hell of a fight. I mean, usually we wouldn't be so intrigued by this going to a game 3, but Willowkeeper, again, this is a very strong, consistent team, the same roster all throughout Season 3 here. BMG's had a lot of shifts. Hell, this is technically their 3rd different roster here in Season 3. Own Me and Fine stepping in, and they're doing a great job, and it seems like things are honestly meshing pretty well for Bad Monkey Gaming. The communication seems to be there, so that's good to see. Good for them, and Game 3 deservingly so.
Yeah, I mean, that game 2, though, like,
I really think it's because Madman didn't have that big of an impact. Whether it was the Helm Black Legion pickup or, BMG were being so aggressive that Tree were forced to fight, but whatever it was, Madman wasn't the carry that he needed to be in that game, put simply. BMG did have a strong, sort of peak in terms of their effectiveness, and they took that peak very, very well. But again, though, that late game smoke glitch, I sort of suggested that they should have done. They just didn't want to try it. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. Smoke is great early game. It's all about getting those early rotations, but it can be very, very big in the late game stages of the game as well. Like you dodge a few wards, and if you get one big pickup in the late game, like